easy. Call you my baby, my pretty lady.
Okay, so one thing I've been thinking about, which I would love to hear your thoughts on, is I saw this quote on Instagram and it said, if you're not moving on from friendships, you're not growing up.
How do you deal with that, Riley?
Someone actually asked me that the other day, is like, when do you know that you need to move on from a friendship? And I feel like we don't talk about it enough because, especially me, like, I'm so faithful. Once I commit to this friendship, I want it for the rest of my life. I want us to be old grandmas, like in a rocking chair, talking about back in the day. Like, you know, like, I want that sort of friendship, but there are friends that you have to move on from, and it hurts. One measurement that really helps me is that all my friends, I am inspired by them in one way or another. So it might be in their intellect or in their character or in their spirituality, but like they inspire me, like Kirsten inspires me. But if there is a friend in your life and they aren't inspiring you in one way, then I think that is a sign that you need to move on. Yeah. What do you think about that? Like, when you hear that, what do you think?
Well, I think of this quote, you're the sum of your five closest friends. You want to be the sum of this amazing thing. For me, if I have to choose what's going to add up to my whole, I want each part to be something that inspires me right now. So I think that's a good measurement. And you can still love people. You can still be there for them, but I don't think that you have time to be intentional and hanging out with people all the time that are bringing you down in some way.
And it's like, if they're in your 5 closest friends, you know, if she says, if I have some boy drama and I tell her and she gives me advice, I most likely take it because I admire her and I trust her. But if one of your friends you don't admire and trust, then that's really hard because they're going to give you advice that may not necessarily point you in the best direction of life.
Yeah.
And so it's like, in your 5 closest friends, they're also your friends, and sometimes they're your mentors. Like, good friends can mentor you.
My friend's mom, she calls her friends like her board of directors, and she appoints each one. Like, one friend is her spirituality director, one person's like her love advice director, the other person, and she literally goes to each person for like, she's her board of directors, she's the CEO of her company, and like, this is her whole board of directors. And I think it's like a really cool idea. Like, and I do have like friends like that, like fill different roles without even realizing it.
There's different roles in your life, just as like when you're on set, there's different roles that have to be played. When you're on life, there's different roles that have to be played in our friendships. So actually stepping back, looking and being like, what role does each of my friends play?
If there's someone that is either playing a role that's like negative to your well-being or not really inspiring you in some way. And that sounds really cutthroat, but I mean, it's like a garden. And if there's a weed in your garden, it's going to grow and it's going to contaminate the garden. You have to pluck.
Or even like another analogy, if there's one moldy fruit, the other fruit get moldy. It's okay to have that one friend that may not inspire you, may not trust, the one that we're thinking about cutting out. It's okay that they can go beyond the 5 friends. They can still stay in your support group, but I wouldn't recommend having them as your 5 closest friends.
And I also think you one time a while ago said something to me, having kind of ministry friends or like mentor friends, or friends that like you love and you care for, maybe they're not inspiring you, but you're placed in their life for a reason and you're still meant to like love on them and be there for them. And we're saying to cut people out and move on from a friendship. It's maybe just not have them as your closest friend and be more intentional about the time that you spend making sure it's with your 5 closest friends and really watering and sowing into those friendships. But I also think if you have too many of those friends that are kind of like the ministry or mentor friends, it can be really draining. So you have to be selective even in that of who you're going to kind of mentor, because you only have so much time in the day, and if you're pouring into everyone else, then you're going to be empty at the end of it.
She reminds me of the summertime, way back in 2003. Hey, I've been chilling on the coast with my home.